So this is for IM2, day 50, number 6. And what we're given is a 12 centimeter segment, makes a 108 degree angle with a 16 centimeter segment. And part A is asking us to find the third side of the triangle formed by this information. So I've drawn a diagram here. Got a 12 and a 16 centimeter segment right here and here. And there's the angle in between them, 108 degrees. So all I did was connect the other ends there to make my triangle. And we need to find the length of this third side. So what I'm going to do is use something we've done in previous problems, and I'm going to create a right triangle here. So the way I'm going to do that is by taking this side and extending it, and then making my altitude to that side. There's my right triangle right there. And I don't know what those sides are, but what I'm going to do is give them names. I can just give them variable names just from my equations to make them nice and neat. So consistent with the last problem we did, the extension of that side I'm going to call x, and I'll call the altitude h. So there's my right triangle, but right now, all I know about my right triangle is the hypotenuse. That's not going to be enough. When we do trig functions, we need to know at least two things. We need to know two sides, or we need to know an angle and a side, but knowing one side is not going to be enough. So let's see what we can do here. We need to figure out something else. I don't think we're going to be able to figure out another side, but I bet we can figure out an angle. And where I'm going to go to find that is right here. I've got this 108 degree angle. This is a straight angle, so it must have 180 degrees in it. So then this angle, let's just put a theta in there. We'll make it red. Theta. So I know that, I'll do a little work here, theta is going to be 180 minus 108. So that's going to be 72 degrees. So now I've got an angle and the hypotenuse, and I'm asked to find that third side. So let's think backwards a little bit here. So now I'm making headway, but I need to find that third side. So I think my plan is if I can find this whole side and this whole side, then I can do Pythagorean theorem to find that. So I'm going to need to find the x and the h here, and I'm going to need to use my right triangle and my right triangle trig to do it. So I'm going to write an equation that has this x in it, all right? So if I've got this angle, remember, right triangle trig, always go to the angle first. I've got the adjacent side, and I've got the hypotenuse, so I'm going to use cosine. So cosine of that angle, 72 degrees, is going to be equal to x over 12. Multiply both sides by 12. 12 cos 72 is going to be my x. And if I plug that into my calculator, x is going to be 3.708. I can do the same thing with my h. So I'm going to look back at this triangle. Here's my angle. I've got the opposite and the hypotenuse. So I'm going to do sine. Sine of 72 is going to be equal to h over 12, multiplied by 12. And my calculator is going to tell me that that is going to be 11.413. So now I've got this piece and this piece. So I've got leg 1. If I add x to 16, I get leg 2. And there's my hypotenuse that I'm looking for. So let's put all that together. So my leg 1 is just going to be 16 plus x. So that's going to be 16 plus, and my x was 3.708. I need to square it. My h is 11.413. I need to square it. And then let's label that side as a c, so then we can just say c squared. And again, that's just my a squared plus b squared equals c squared, my Pythagorean theorem. Oh, except we don't want that to be an equal sign. We want that to be a plus. So if I solve for c, I just square root both sides, and I get that c is 22.774. So that is the length of that third side. So the last part of this question is to find the area of that triangle. So what we need to do is look at our area formula. So area is 1/2 base times height. And just like a problem we've done before, we have to be careful We only want to use this base if this is going to be our height, right? So we are not including this red triangle in our area, so that's why we're going to use a base of 16 and a height of h. So let's plug into our formula. So we're going to have 1/2 times my base is 16. My height is 11.413. When I plug that into my calculator, it's going to give me 91.304. My units in this are centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. And these should also be centimeters and centimeters and centimeters. And there you go.